I read every single one. Thank you. The night my wife staggered through the front door, I almost didn't recognize the woman I had promised my life to. Her hair was tangled and uneven, her lipstick blurred beyond its edges, and she smelled strongly of alcohol. The harsh scrape of her heels dragging over the hardwood floor rang through the hallway, like a warning I didn't know how to face. She barely acknowledged me, tossing her purse aside, mumbling something about being tired, and disappearing into the bedroom without another word. For years, I had trusted her completely. Her name was Lauren. To everyone else, she was flawless, warm, ambitious, dependable. But as I watched her collapse onto the bed that night, something inside me shifted in a way I couldn't ignore. I tried convincing myself it had only been a rough evening, nothing more. Yet her half-fastened dress and the absence of one earring told a story she hadn't spoken aloud. I remained in the living room for hours, staring at the closed bedroom door, waiting for her to wake and give me some kind of explanation. My mind replayed everything. She had told me she was meeting co-workers. After midnight, she stopped answering my messages. Her phone had supposedly died. With each passing minute, the silence between us thickened, heavy and suffocating. By the time morning light filtered through the blinds, I hadn't slept at all. I heard the faint rustle of sheets and her low groan, hung over, disoriented. I stepped into the room quietly, holding the small silver earring I discovered near the doorway. She blinked at me, squinting against the light. "Why are you just standing there?" she asked, rubbing her eyes. I didn't answer right away. I set the earring on the nightstand beside her and spoke evenly. "This isn't yours." Her expression went rigid. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. She looked down, and the color drained from her face. Her dress was still partly unbuttoned. A faint trace of cologne, unfamiliar, unmistakable, hung in the air. In that instant, she understood what I had already realized. She pushed herself upright, clutching the blanket tightly to her chest. I don't remember anything," she stammered. "We were drinking. I must have." I cut her off. "You must have what, Lauren? Accidentally ended up in someone else's bed?" Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. No anger. Not yet. Just a hollow emptiness. She reached toward me, but I stepped back. "Please, just let me explain," she whispered. I searched her face, hoping to find even a fragment of the woman I once loved. Instead, I saw only someone unfamiliar, someone who had carried her guilt back into our home. That morning, she didn't freeze because of memory. She froze because she finally saw what she had broken. She sat trembling at the edge of the mattress, covering her face as if hiding might erase reality. I wanted to yell, to say something, anything, but the words stayed locked inside my chest. Every breath felt heavier, tainted by the truth hanging between us. "I swear I never meant for it to happen," she cried. "It was just a mistake. A stupid night." A dry, bitter laugh escaped me. "A mistake is forgetting our anniversary, Lauren." I paused, forcing myself to stay calm. "What you did, that wasn't a mistake. That was a decision." She looked up, her eyes swollen and red. "We've been distant, David. You've been cold. I thought you didn't care anymore." Her words struck deep, but they didn't excuse betrayal. "So that's your reason?" I asked quietly. "You thought I stopped caring, so you found someone else who would, for one night?" Her lips quivered, but she said nothing. And in that silence, I realized something undeniable. Sadness fades. Disappointment lingers. She tried to reach for me again, whispering my name like it still belonged to her. I recoiled immediately. "Don't. You don't get to touch me now." I walked into the kitchen, trying to steady myself, but reminders of her were everywhere. The mug she always used, the notes stuck to the refrigerator, the faint trace of her perfume that lingered in the air. I had built my entire life around her presence, and in a single night, it had all become a lie. She followed, her voice unsteady. "David, please." I was drunk. I wasn't thinking. I turned to face her. "Then answer me this, Lauren. If you weren't thinking, why did you hide your phone? Why did you erase the messages before coming home?" Her eyes widened in shock. She hadn't realized I knew. The panic on her face confirmed more than any confession. "You went through my phone?" she asked, trying to sound outraged. I looked at the phone of my wife, who came home smelling like another man. I replied coldly, "You tell me if I was wrong." She sank to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. I wanted to walk out, but I couldn't move. Somewhere deep inside, a small, stubborn part of me still hoped she would say something, anything that could hold us together. But there was nothing. Only guilt and silence filled the room like smoke after a fire. I watched her, understanding that nothing she said could reverse what had been done. The woman I had once dreamed beside was now only a reflection of regret. And the longer I stood there, the clearer it became. She wasn't sorry for betraying me. She was sorry she even found out. She wiped at her face. "Can we talk later? I can't think clearly right now." I shook my head slowly. "No, Lauren, you had all night to think. You had a choice before you stepped into his arms. before you decided your moment mattered more than our vows. Her gaze fell to the floor. Shame etched across her features, but I felt no sympathy anymore. I opened the closet and pulled out her suitcase. You should stay somewhere else for a while, I said. Maybe distance will help you see clearly. She grabbed my arm in panic. Please don't do this. It didn't mean anything. I was drunk. I was stupid. I pulled away. If it meant nothing, why does it hurt this much? She broke down again. David, I love you. Please don't let it end like this. I looked at her, my chest aching in ways I couldn't put into words. It ended the moment you decided someone else deserved my place. I turned and walked away, my chest tight with anger and grief. Later that evening, I sat alone on the couch, staring at our wedding photograph. The smiles on our faces felt like a cruel illusion. I remembered defending her to friends, dismissing the late nights, the business trips, the unexplained distance. Maybe part of me had always known. I just refused to face it. The next morning, she packed in silence. There was nothing left to say, only the sound of the zipper closing and the hollow finality of goodbye. When she walked out the door, I didn't stop her. Weeks passed. The house felt emptier, yet strangely more peaceful. One afternoon, I opened an envelope that had arrived in the mail. It was from her. Inside was a brief note. You didn't deserve what I did. I hope someday you find peace. I folded it once and set it aside. I didn't need her apology to move forward. I'd already found my closure. Because sometimes, the moment someone betrays you is the same moment you begin to rediscover who you are. And when she woke up that morning and froze, she wasn't really seeing me at all.